Alright, so in this video we are going to be talking about the Pulsar X2. This was sent out by Lethal Gaming Gear, so thank you for them. I will also have a review on the LG pads coming up. I have the Venus and Saturn, but this video is about the X2, and let's get into it. So this mouse has been out for quite a while. I just wasn't really sure if I wanted to pick it up, but Lethal Gaming Gear sent it out to me. So let's get into the review. Now, just going to get the shape out of the way. This is just a claw-orientated mouse. You can fingertip it, but you're not palming this mouse. I mean, I guess you can, but it's not optimal. This is a claw mouse, and I will get more into the shape later. But let's get into the specs and all of that stuff. So, coming in at 56 grams, plus or minus about 2 grams, and $95, which is a very competitive price point. This mouse has a 3395 non-Nordic, well, 3395 sensor with a non-Nordic MCU. It's using a Compex MCU. We'll get into that when we talk about the true specs and all of that. Kale 8.0s, Huano white plunger side buttons, and TTC gold encoder. So, also, I do want to mention there is a light indicator over here and on the side of the mouse, and there's an on and off on the bottom of the mouse, and your DPI is on the top. Let's get into click feel. So usually I'm not a fan of Kale 8.0s. I don't like Kale 8.0s. I think they're, I mean, I shouldn't say that. I just think they're the definition of average at this point. And I still sort of feel this way with this mouse, although I think it is definitely a better implementation. So on the main clicks, there is a little bit of pre-travel, which is a good thing, just a tiny bit. You don't want too much, but you don't want none at all. And there is a little bit of post-travel. They feel pretty snappy, although my left click does have quite a bit of side wobble. My right does not. I don't really notice it in game at all. But one thing I did notice is that these clicks are clicks that you kind of need to press on center. They don't feel great if you press like anywhere else really. So yeah, but I mean, most people are clicking in that area anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Now going on to the side buttons, so as I said, Huano white plunger side buttons, I'm not sure the specifics really. They are in a nice place. I wish they were a little bit bigger, but they are in a nice place for my hands at least. Although they sort of remind me of the super light side buttons in a way. I'll show you what I mean. So there's quite a bit of pre-travel on there, and there's quite a bit of post-travel on there. And overall, just when using it, they remind me a lot of the super light side buttons, but better. Like if the super light side buttons were decent, if that makes any sense at all. They're not something you shouldn't buy the mouse for, but they're not something you should buy the mouse for. They're there, they're fine, they'll get the job done, they're decent. Now the scroll wheel, so I don't know if you can tell, but the scroll wheel does have a texture on it. Oh my god, of course the camera is not going to focus. You can see right there. It feels great. The scroll feels really good. TTC gold encoder. Although the click force is quite high. So that is definitely something. USB-C. And now let's get into the box. So I know I did this kind of in a really stupid order. So in the box, you don't get much. You really don't. You get everything that's here. You get the cable, the extender, and the dongle. And you get a sticker if you care about that really. They don't give you any extra feet or grips. I would like to see that because literally every other mouse in this price range basically gives you that. And so $95 and they don't give you any accessories. I mean, it's not make or break because a lot of people don't use them truthfully, but it would just be something nice to see. Now let's get into the sound test. I will give you the sound test. As I already said, main clicks, I would say they're above average. Side buttons, I would say they're average. Scroll wheel is it's in the great. It's great. It's very good. It's well for my preference. I don't usually like a super light scroll click, so that is just my personal preference. Now let's get into true performance. So I was going to talk about the sensor, and then we'll get into the shape and stuff like that. The actual performance of this mouse, if you are sensor or if you are click latency crazy, performance crazy, this might not be the best mouse for you. So just for reference, the Starlight 12 click latency, according to Tech Power Up, this is the best form of like thing of proof I could get, and this seems, from what I've heard from a lot of people, accurate. The Starlight 12 is sitting at about 2.4 milliseconds of click latency. The Razer Orochi is sitting about 2.1. The Superlight is sitting about 1.7, and on 0 milliseconds of debounce, this mouse is sitting at about 3.9 milliseconds. It's not something you're going to be like, oh my god, it's so slow, but it is something just to keep in mind, because some people are crazy about that. So, but like the average person, this will be fine. You're not going to miss your shot because there's an extra millisecond of latency. But it is something I think that will be improved when the newer models come out with 4K and with a Nordic MCU. So just keeping that in mind. But this shouldn't make it so, oh my god, I'm not buying this mouse type of thing, because yeah. Now let's get back into the shape. So this is obviously a claw shape, and this shape to me is what I wish the XM1 felt like in my hand. I have about medium to smallish hands, and the medium size fits great in my hands. Absolutely great. And the dimensions of this mouse: 120 millimeters long, 63 millimeters at its widest point, and 38 millimeters at its highest point. So that's what we're looking at here. And yeah, those are all the specs and everything like that. 300 milliamp hour battery, 70 hours is what they're saying. The software is decent. You can change the click latency. It seems pretty light. I'm not 100% sure, but the battery isn't an issue for me. It's been fine. Now the coating is matte. It's just, if you hate matte coatings, you're gonna hate this coating. There's no in between. It's just a straight up generic matte coating. That's just what it is. It's fine. There's nothing special about it. It's not awful. It's fine. It doesn't leave fingerprints on the red one. Now the feet. So the feet remind me a little bit of the V2 Pro feet, the Razer Viper V2 Pro. On textured pads, like this is the Venus I'm feeling right now, you do not feel a thing. The skates do not allow for any type of texture. If you're using this on a control pad, it'll feel great. I used it on the Saturn. Felt great, smooth, nice. But if you're using this on a textured pad, you will not feel a thing. Nothing. There's nothing you will feel. So that is just something to keep in mind. Yeah. Overall, do I think this mouse is worth $95 when there will be other mice coming out that will support 4K, that will support all of this? Overall, is this mouse worth $95 when the market is super crowded? I'm going to say it is case dependent, because if you don't care about 1000 hertz and you want a new claw kind of shape, the shape is great. Honestly, the shape is really great. Yes, I would say it is worth it, but if you are looking for a future-proof mouse, if you're looking for a mouse that is going to compete in 2 years, no, because they will be releasing a 4K version of this mouse. Now, do I know how much? Is it going to be more expensive? Probably. This mouse will probably also price drop, maybe, when those mice come out, depending on the price of that. But this mouse will not be 4K proof, I don't think, because of the MCU. So that is just something to keep in mind. If you don't care about 4K and you just want a great claw shape, sure, you can probably also find it cheap used. But that's just my opinion on it. Would I probably go out and buy it right now? No, because I like 4K. I like all these things. But it is a fun mouse to use, truthfully. It is nice. It's nice. But that's the end of this review. And I will have a review of the LGG pads coming soon. Like and sub, all of that stuff. Use my links in the description. And peace.